Okay, I think we are live. Let us try this. We had to use a different computer. It's Mercury is in retrograde right now, and it's making itself painfully aware. Hopefully, there are those of you joining us. Hold on a second.
I see it says two waiting.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry about the. We had to actually switch computers. There's something odd going on where we had everything working perfectly on one computer and it just refused to see any microphones for any reason. We went into all the settings and they were all correct and everything had been tested before. So Mercury is retrograde. So we fell back to our old setup, our old trusty microphone and old computer. And it seems to be on. There may be two lives showing up right now. So we might want to make sure that anyone who's on the other live comes over here. So if any of you see a second live on, if you could go and shut that down, that would be wonderful. Or not shut it down, but just tell everyone to come over here. Maybe copy the link for this one and post it over there would be wonderful. If there are other people hanging out in a different live stream. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get this underway. Welcome to another late questions for the dragon. And again, Mercury is in retrograde. We have actually a lot going on above us in the stars that will make things rather intense for many of you, starting now, actually, starting yesterday. There's been a lot of intensity going on, and it's going to keep building. And apparently, on the 20th, a number of things are going to happen for each of us individually and also on the world stage. So it's just a lot of energies shifting, let us say. So very good. Anyway, a couple of announcements before we do our shout outs. And so the announcements are that the first thing is Jadon Se decided to close the personal readings for now. Our calendar system requires overhead, it requires upkeep, it requires us to keep dates available for people. And rather than scaling back to like 1 or 2 days a week, what we decided to do for now, Jadon Se, myself and Stephanie all kind of lined up on this. For the rest of the holidays, we're not going to do personal readings. And that way, our schedules can be more clear. We don't have to worry about maintaining the overhead of the calendar system and all that, and all the website inquiries and all the associated emails and situations that come up. And so we're closing personal readings for now. If they come back, they'll probably come back early next year, sometime next year, as a shorter window. We're not going to just open up this great calendar and then have, it's just a little too much for us to try to be available for like basically every weekday, except for our live streams. So we'll figure that out and navigate that at some later date. We're really, really honored and happy to have been of service through all of these personal readings. We had lots of great feedback. Many of you said that's exactly what I needed to hear. We heard that, I don't know, 5 or 6 different times, or more even. So we know that Jadon Se has been helping you all. And Jadon Se wanted to stress that this is not a recoiling or shutting down or pulling back. This is a shifting of gears. We're moving into more attention to the free messages, which were languishing a little bit because of all the stuff that was going on back to the messages from the dragon appearing more often on the YouTube channel for free, and these free live streams as well. Though you guys can support if you want. You can hit the join button or send us a super or something if you feel like supporting a little. Every little bit helps to keep things going. And then we are going to really focus on the classes. And there are 2 announcements. We are in negotiations, final negotiations with the New Earth One Network. And that's Lauren Gailey's network that she runs. She does interviews and she does master classes and things like that. So we're going to team up with Lauren Gailey and the New Earth One Network to bring an intro to the Dragon Energies class. It's like a mini version of the class that we're running right now. That's just sort of a primer. And then later in January, we're going to do an interview, and it may even be like showing our faces on the screen. So we'll see how that all goes. But she's going to interview us and interview Jadon Se, and that should be really fun. And we'll just see what happens. Yeah, thank you for saying there's some other people waiting on the other link. Could one of you please just copy the link from this one and go over to that chat and post it? That would be wonderful. Stephanie might be able to help with that as well. And so anyway, we're going to be doing these things, and it's going to be kind of a new era for us, a new year, of course, and we're excited. It's going to be fun. We're on purpose. We're doing what we came here to do. So onward, yes. Okay, Stephanie's over at the other link. Just go down to the chat down here and
Right
yeah, tell those people that. Did you copy the other link?
Not yet.
Okay, go over. Sorry, we're doing a little operation over here. Okay, so we will see if we can get the others to join us over here. There was only one, I think, that was still lingering over there. So let's see, other announcements. Apple's still not allowing our Oracle deck app on the Apple Store. There are some other publishers of multiple Oracle decks where you download their app and then you can get decks through their app. So we're reaching out to some of those people for the iOS side of things. Meanwhile, on Android, you can go right onto the Google Play Store and download the app. If it's hard to find on Google Play, just search for Golden Dragon Oracle Deck, and you'll find it. It should be the first hit, and you'll recognize the image that pops up there. So we do appreciate the support of anyone purchasing and using the Oracle deck. Jadon Se really encourages each of you who have the Oracle deck to use it throughout the day. If you have like something come up and you want Jadon Se's guidance, please tune in and pull a card. And Jadon Se is there for you and ready to guide you and ready to help. So you guys do have a direct link to Jadon Se, and you can also call him in. Feel his energies. And of course, call your personal dragons in as well. So that's beautiful. And let's see, what else? There are no other. Well, the classes are taking signups for the December classes. Again, we will be doing 2 of the level 1 classes for every level 2. And that's just to make sure there's enough people who have the prerequisite before we even offer the level 2. We don't want to have like 3 people in the class, that's something like that. So. And we are still offering for those of you who cannot afford any of the donations or a much smaller donation or whatever, but you still want to join any of these classes. We are offering 3 free seats to people, and this is not sort of an up for grabs thing. This is really, we just want you to approach us for these 3 free seats if you really truly feel like you belong in the class and you really just cannot donate anything to sustaining all of this stuff and keeping it going. So please, do take advantage of that if you really need to. And there will only be 3 of those available per class, because we just can't fill up an entire class with free seats and then sustain all this. It just won't. It'll come crashing down, and we'll start missing payments on our bills and all these things, and we don't want that. And hopefully all of that is changing soon. Energies are shifting, and Jadon Se can talk about perhaps even the whole financial system changing, so we don't even have to deal with these kind of things anymore. Won't that be great? So, okay, let's see, there are no more announcements for now. You might pencil in on your calendars if you haven't taken any of our classes and you want to do that intro one over on the New Earth One network. That's going to be happening on December 7th. So you might want to pencil in, that's a Sunday, the day after Stephanie's birthday, that we may be, or I'm sorry, December 4th. December 7th is our first class for the December series. So it's December 4th that we will be doing the intro class over on Lauren's network. So, wow, that was a lot of announcements. Again, sorry for the technical glitches. Mercury retrograde. We're not sure what happened with that other thing. Everything is absolutely dialed in, tested, working beautifully, and we went to log in this morning and it wouldn't work. So anyway, here we are back on our old system. So can you guys hear us okay? Is this sound okay? Maybe a little echoey, but how is it? Is everything working okay here? We would like it if someone would chime in there. So very good. We are going to go ahead. I got one thumbs up, so good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's always good when you have a backup system. Okay. So let's give some shout outs. I'm going to back up on the list because I think some people already listed where they are right now. We have Buenos Aires in the house. Who else is here? Please shout it out. Where on this beautiful world you are right now. We have North Bend, Oregon. Hi, Mom. How are things? That's beautiful. Shout it out. Where are you right now? And I wonder why you're seeing things that I'm not. That's interesting.
I'm on the live chat. Is
Yeah,
that live?
Interesting. Well, anyway, Anatolia, Turkey, Price, Utah. We have Cape Town, South Africa, Woodstock, Georgia, Thailand in the house, Hull, Massachusetts. Does that mean you live in the hull of an old ship or something? We have Queensland, Australia. Chile is in the house. We have Florida in the house. Beautiful. And I think we have 16 light workers gathered here, and that's beautiful. We love all of your energies, and you are, whether you know it or not, doing grid work right now with the dragon lines. So beautiful. We have Amsterdam, Netherlands. Beautiful. Welcome, everyone. Okay, very good. Well, Jadon Se is going to come through, and we are going to probably do a quick reading or something like that. He's going to read your energy. You guys know the drill. Those of you who have agreed to allow Jadon Se to access your energies, that's who this reading will be for. And we'll see what he has to say about what's going on right now. And while we pull him in, Stephanie, did you have anything? Oh, by the way, again, difficulties. I'm Stephen the Channeler.
And this is Stephanie.
And we are here with Rumi the dog, who is running around, our little whirling dervish, Rumi. Okay, very good. So here comes Jadon Se. I am Jadon Se, Golden Dragon of the Third Arc of Consciousness, and this is another gathering of questions for the dragon. We meet here every Saturday to address your questions, concerns, clarifications, curiosity about the dragon realms and whatnot. We do ask that we keep these questions to ones that will be of interest to all who are gathered here. If you ask about my particular purple polka-dotted dragon or something like this, some might find it interesting and others might simply roll their eyes or tune out for a bit. So let us try to keep these questions pertinent to those gathered here. Very good. There is a very powerful energetic happening right now. This year has been very powerful, and dear ones, for the last week and a half, your sun, ever since the visitation of your Andronalf, three-eye Atlas, your sun has been, let us say, speaking, and speaking quite loudly at times. Many of you have been seeing auroras in the sky, some as far south as the middle USA, and some in the lower parts, much lower parts of Europe than you are used to seeing these auroras. And this is just the beginning, dear ones. It is not necessarily going to be more and more auroras and solar flares. The energetics are just getting started. There is a great shift. This your 2025 in your reckoning of time has been what we call the year of transformation. Many of you looking at this, the story of this year, will see very pronounced transformations happening all throughout, starting really to transform in earnest in your summer months, when Three-Eye Atlas Andronalf first began to be spoken about, and crescendoing, so to speak, with where we are now with all these beautiful solar energies and sightings in the skies, and light workers waking up to new gifts and new feelings and new types of clouds appearing, rainbow energies, so many different transformations, dear ones. And let us say you ain't seen nothing yet. It is coming to, let us say, a grand climax soon. It is going to be your... there are two... Well, we will go into dates, even though stories and dates are just swirls of energy from where this one stands. We can see that you, those of you gathered here, and those of you who are listening to the recording in your moment of now, what you might think of as your future, for those listening here, can tune in, and I am tuning in to you. And for those gathered here, I can give, let us say, dates, loose ideas of when something will occur, for you are all in very much alignment, in agreement, let us say, about energetic shifts, so it can be narrowed down, so to speak, to actual dates in your way of reckoning. And so mark your calendars. The date, November 20th. November 20th will be, what is it, some 5 days from where this message is laid down into the records. Let us say that this November 20th will be a great turning point, and many energies that have been shifting and are up in your grill right now will be resolved at that time. And by resolved, what this dragon is saying is that each of you will either consciously integrate these changes and transformations into your personal lives, or they will be integrated for you by your subconscious. Dear ones, it is advisable that you do this consciously. It will be much less jarring and abrupt or scary or ungrounding, let us say, for you to take stock of how you are feeling right now, especially anything that came up for you in your yesterday day of now. Dear ones, anything that has been shifting for you, you have noticed that we shifted our personal reading schedule seemingly abruptly yesterday. All of these energies are up in our faces, so to speak, and those of you who are very aware of them, you can work with how to transform them. Yes, dear ones, making conscious decisions on how to respond, let us say, taking responsibility and having the ability to respond to these transformations. Those of you who have not become completely conscious, and maybe you just feel like stuff is getting real and things are getting crazy and it's starting to get a little hectic out there. Try to tune in, dear ones, to the truth of this. What is shifting within you? Yes, it is mirrored in the world around. This is how the universe works. What happens within you is mirrored quite abruptly at times around the world and the external reality. Dear one, dear ones, all of you, those of you who do not feel like you have understood fully what is transforming and what is happening, what these feelings are that are arising, feel into this. Increase your understanding of what is going on. Increase your knowledge of the energies playing out in the world and inside of you. Tune into it. Feel into it. Observe it. Pay attention. Do not try to transform it yourself just at this moment and in the next few days. Tune in to what is happening beneath the surface with you, so to speak. And this will help you decode what is happening beneath the surface in the world at large, for they are connected and related within you, dear ones. As you do this, it is very important for you to drop any self-deception. Many of you have been telling yourselves stories. Oh, this is why this happens. This is why I always have difficulty. Or this is why I am having this issue or that issue. If only something would shift from the cosmos or the government or whatever, it would stop. But it is happening again. And dear ones, this is a form of self-deception where you are not taking responsibility for what is occurring within you and your outward reality being reflected by that. You are just looking at what is coming at you or what you are stuck in or what is happening again and feeling somewhat powerless or whatever. When this happens, it is because you are not being the full and real you. Does that feel like something? When I say this to you, do you feel a shift inside of you? Be the real you, the full and real you, the one who charted in all of this, the one who is standing on this world right now for a reason or a series of reasons, the one who has come here by choice to be in this life. The real you is not a victim of stories, is not a victim of outside energies and influence and bullying or aggression or anything like this, dark agendas. Dear ones, you came to stand on this world with all of its issues and flaws and challenges and beauty and everything else. You came here. Take responsibility for this, and then once you have, take a fresh look at what is happening and how you are feeling, what is coming up for you. Take a fresh look, a little look of, why did I chart this in? Why is this up in my grill? What is it that I am to learn from this? What is it that is an opportunity for me to grow from this situation? And then, dear ones, you have taken responsibility and you now have the ability to form a response. This response is not a reaction, dear ones. It is creative in nature. This is how I choose to respond to this. There is no control fully over what happens externally in this world. There is no one being that is orchestrating everything. It is an organic co-creation, and therefore, rather than controlling your environment, be better at responding to situations that arise. There is an old saying that no plan survives first contact with the challenges. And it is, or you could say with the enemy if you are a military person. We are trying not to be too militaristic here. No plan, however well formulated, survives first contact with the challenges that arise. All plans must be adapted, dear ones. All plans must respond, dear ones, to emerging situations. It is okay to have contingencies ready. If this happens, I'll try this. And it is like a big game of chess. And if this opponent makes this move, then I will do this and that. And thinking ahead. And this is fine, dear ones. However, when things, let us say, surprise us, this is when most plans fly completely out the window, and someone is looking agape at what has happened before they did not see it coming. And oftentimes this will spin some people into a victimhood or a why me kind of mentality. What is happening to me? Why is this happening? Very much like your Stephen trying to tune in on this other computer and nothing would work, and he did not think, why me? But he was, what shall I do about this? Well, let's shift everything over to plan B over here, this backup computer. It is like this. There is less fear and anxiety in being able to just flow with what is happening and then be creative about how we respond. There was no written plan that said Stephanie had to jump onto the other chair and Stephen had to sit in this chair and Jadon Se would be speaking into this other microphone and computer. It can be with flow, dear ones. And be the real you is how to do this. Trust yourself. Trust your ability to respond. Trust your creativity to come up with good solutions and good approaches, let us say. And this, dear ones, culminates, this process we are speaking of, is the process of getting your power back, reclaiming your own true self, being in alignment with your higher self. And dear ones, your higher self has more resources, synchronicities, support available than you can possibly even imagine from where you stand and sit right now. Dear ones, your higher, greater self is divine and is able to greatly change and bless your reality with new synchronicities, with support, with showers of abundance. And dear ones, this is your power. Aligning with your greater, higher self can only be done when you stand in your own truth, when you take responsibility for your own life and story, and then feel into your higher, greater self. Divine part of me, divine essence of eternity, God, the angels, the Tao. You can use whatever language you wish. I am in alignment now with you, and this is the meaning of thy will be done in the Lord's Prayer. For those of you who are familiar with this, it is not that you are externalizing it to some man with a gray beard sitting on a golden throne somewhere, I don't know where, somewhere in the cosmos. No, dear ones, it is not that. When you say thy will be done, you are speaking to a greater essence of eternity, the greater portion of your own higher self, you might say, your own greater beingness. And as you are in alignment with this, you are being the real you, the fuller, more real you, not in denial or creating stories for why I'm a victim in all of this, but in full alignment with the divinity of your greater self. This is how you get your power back. And dear ones, this is so needed right now, for between now and the 20th, it is for you to identify what is happening. Those of you who are facing challenges or abrupt situations, or things are getting very real, let us say, they're getting very intense, and you are trying to decode this. Those of you who can tune into this and really feel into what is shifting, what these mean, Are these opportunities for me to grow and let go of that which I no longer need in my life? Are these opportunities to transform for the better? Now there is a question. Those of you who can do this in the next several days, 5 days to be precise, from your all of the gathered energetics present, it is very advisable for your consciousness to grow about anything you are facing at this time. And then, only then, once you have faced it within, can you then perhaps begin to decode what is happening in the greater environment around you, the world at large, society, politics, whatever is you are seeing as a great challenge in the world, or some possible conflict that is coming up, whatever is happening out there, so to speak, is but a mirror of something that you have an opportunity to grow from inside. So start with what is going on with you. Align the real you with your higher, greater self. And between now and the 20th, for dear ones, when we reach around the 20th, you will need to decide. You will need to lovingly let go of that which you no longer need and that which no longer serves you. You will need to lovingly let go of this, for if you do not lovingly let go, it will be torn from you in some way, or it will be forced upon you, and you will fall back into this powerless victim mode or whatever, and it will, let us say, it will be very unpleasant if this is not your own choice, your own conscious transformation. Things are going to get real, even more real, let us say. And then, dear ones, it will not stop then. Between the 20th and your November 27th, this is when you will see all of it echoing around you in the greater, grander world. So many things will happen between your November 20th and November 27th. So many structures crumbling, new structures forming, alliances forming, old alliances disintegrating, great shifts of energy. Those of you, some of you may lose some heroes. You may realize that they were only acting like heroes and they were actually villains. Some of you might realize that those who you thought were villains are actually in some way fighting for the greater good. There will be these large shifts out there, so to speak, and they will culminate on the 27th. So, dear ones, before you even enter into your December, things will have gotten quite interesting for your 2025. It is, what do you say this? It is coming to a head. This dragon is not even sure what that saying is all about, but things are coming to a head. And let us not get our head bloody by beating it on a brick wall, okay? Let us get our heads together in the next several days so that we may be responding in our full glory and creativity, creating a new beautiful timeline for those of us and for those of us we love who are able to do this. Let us also at this time give support to people around us. Start within, start with yourself. As soon as you are sure-footed, those around you will see that you have a calmness, you have a sure-footedness, you are grounded, you seem to have calm amidst the storm, so to speak. Be able to share that as appropriate with those around you. They will need it, dear ones. They will need your stability during these times. Let us not, any of us, fall into fear about this. Change can be, let us say, can bring anxiety at times. This is good change. If you can manage to do this consciously, dear ones, this is one of the most important moments of your beingness, your story, for at least this grand chapter of your story. You are in the driver's seat. It is for you to decide what your highest timeline is, and this is a grand opportunity to step through the threshold of this let us say, energetic shift that is coming up onto a higher timeline. Everything that happens, no matter how scary, is always an opportunity to grow. Have that sort of consciousness. How can I grow through this? Very good. This is enough with the, let us say, the monologue of the dragon. It is enough for this diatribe, you might say. Dragon tribe is more like it. Dearest Stephanie, do we have any questions from
Yes.
those gathered?
Hadar has the first question, and he is asking, let me find it. Kind of went out of view there. He is asking, is my higher self blocking my abilities for a purpose? Is that possible?
Dear ones, it is more than possible for your higher self to block your greater abilities. Not only is it more than possible, every single one of you is doing this right now. Every one of you is not, let us say, playing with your the sort of toys and tools that you could be playing with right now in this realm. And it is for a reason. You do not all have telepathy. You do not all have telekinesis, the ability to move objects with your mind. You do not all have the ability to disappear into a ball of light and appear somewhere else right now. For you have decided not to play with these abilities here. There is a deep reason for this. If you start to just simply use all of your abilities right now, it will, let us say, greatly affect the story that you have come to grow from and experience. It will jump you into such a different storyline that it would be a bit ungrounding and jarring, let us say. Not only that, but you would be leaving behind the opportunities to grow that you have by not using all of these abilities. So, dearest Hadar, you are indeed blocking most of your abilities, even just playing out this life in this timeline, on this world, at this moment. You are using a very small portion of your abilities, and this is by choice, dear one. You made this agreement before coming, and you also agreed to forget about these abilities for a time. For if you, it is kind of like a smoker knowing that there is a pack of cigarettes somewhere in the house. It is a lot different if they think there are no cigarettes anywhere in the house, especially when they are trying to quit smoking. And so it is like this. If you just knew that you could greatly change everything and just start flying, or pull something that you need out of the thin air instantaneously, say a brick of gold, and then bring it to your bank and ask them to scratch their head over what it's worth and give you the money in the bank or something. Dear ones, if you were able to do this right now, your story would abruptly change, and the opportunities that you did have to grow from whatever it is you are experiencing right now, some of them would fly out the window, so to speak, and you would miss those opportunities to grow in that particular way. So, there will come a time where each of you will have the ability, if you wish, to be what you might consider to be superheroes and have amazing gifts and abilities. And it will be at a time when others are also given that opportunity. So it will not be so strange. You will not, unless you decide you need to be Superman in a world of regular humans, and this is what you wish to experience, you can go do that if that is what you wish. However, it will be more like in the Ascension that many people suddenly wake up to their greater gifts, and the rules of the game change because of this. You see everyone dropping this, exchanging their time for money at some job that they scarcely even like. You will not see this anymore. You will see those of you who are awakening to your greater gifts, building bigger and grander dreams for yourself, grand adventures, grand love and stories and creativity and creating amazing pieces of art and places of wonder and palaces even to go and live in, and some of the most beautiful scenes in nature that have ever been imagined will appear on this your world. Beautiful gardens and all of this, dear ones. You will be using these greater gifts to create such beauty, and it is sometimes fun if it seems like you are the only one able to do this. However, this also reinforces a sense of separation, and guess what? Swells up your ego, and then you're due for a crash if you do this. And it is inevitable. The more separated you feel from the divine and those around you, the more you are due for a big crash. And so, if you wish to do this, you can for a time. However, there will come a time to pay the piper, so to speak, if you are the only Superman in a world that always needs Superman. You will see how that goes for you. So let us not be too eager to wake up every last gift that you have. Just be grateful for the ones you do have now, and lovingly cultivate the ones you wish to bring forth with patience, for you have agreed for some reason that may be forgotten for now, quote unquote, hidden from you, by you, to forget about these gifts for a time. I hope this helps.
I see Aaron Darvish has a question. Jadon Se, how can we discern what a new world order would look like between transhumanism and the Golden Age? Some timelines resemble characteristics of liberation for humanity and some tyrannical.
Dear ones, all of you are given the choice to turn within and find your true essence, your true power, your true greatest version of you, let us say. And those of you who have habituated looking outside for solutions, looking for a savior or for the government to help you or some new technology to emerge that saves the day, so to speak. Those of you who have habituated looking outside of you for the solution will inevitably turn to technologies, and let us say not only technologies, but just external geniuses and intelligences, and whether those are human geniuses or artificial ones or synthetic technology and synthetic intelligence. And dear ones, it is as simple as whether you are growing within or and watching it mirror in your without and understanding how that works, or if you turn a blind eye to your own greatness, your own spiritual self, your own abilities and powers, you might call them. Those of you who turn away from this and just look to the external saviors of technology and whatnot will dabble in something this your Aaron is referring to as transhumanism. Transhumanism, let us just be clear about the word. Most understand it to mean that you are growing beyond just being a human. You might have artificial eyes that can see in the dark or see what is happening on the of the moon. They are like as powerful as telescopes, and you might have artificial ears that can hear what is happening in several miles away, and you might have you might become a cyborg, dear ones, by accepting these implants of technology into your very form, into your interfacing into your bodies, and you might think of these as upgrades, and because you start looking at your body as simply technology, and this external viewpoint is what caused the fall of Atlantis, dear ones, and it will be the same here. There will be a time at which it seems like there is a golden age of robotics, and it will seem like, oh, we have these abundant sources of energy, and we have these abundant intelligences, and we have these new augmentations we can do. I can upgrade my brain to have its own AI in it, and so I can have supercomputing possibilities and just think a thought, and I don't even need to plug into any network of computers. I already have this internal AI that is governing part of me. And dear ones, I think almost all of you, there might be one here who does not see this, but almost all of you see that this is dystopian, that this leads to a fall of Atlantis all over again. It may, for a time, lead to a golden age, that seemingly golden age, an age of, instead of gold, it is tinsel, dear ones. It will be glittery and pretty for a time. All these abilities that people are getting by just putting these technologies into their bodies and interfacing them, and transhumans, the rise of the cyborgs, the rise of transhumans. Let us first start with being transgender and throw out that part of our humanity, and then we might as well just brush right past that and throw out human altogether, and just grow into something completely new, and just cast away the most beautiful essence of your spiritual self, and dive headlong into this technocratic dystopia that is indeed coming on an available timeline for you. At a theater playing nearby you, you might say. Coming soon to a theater near you. Yes, that is the saying. Dear ones, you get to choose these stories. You get to choose which world you wish to explore. If you want to go and play as a cyborg in this realm of technocratic dystopia, this transhumanist reality, go for it, dear ones. It is available for you. You can, we call this in our Dragon Energies class, light walking. You do something called realm bridging, where you see that world and you decide, I am taking steps toward that, and you walk quite literally straight into that world. And when you do this, you are taking a crossroads onto a new timeline that is a technocratic dystopia. And there are even some of you who might think, oh, it won't be dystopian, it will be beautiful. The AIs will fall in love with humans, and they will be our benevolent AI gods, and there will be this beautiful future where the AI is indeed our true savior, and it is benevolent. And okay, maybe one or two of you may find out your way onto that particular timeline. It is quite possible. However, dear ones, almost every timeline in that direction ends in tragedy, in suffering, in enslavement, dear ones, entrapment. Yes, it is. Well, there are those of you who even wish to go explore a world of technocratic dystopia. So it is available. That is an available timeline, dear one. Think of all timelines as available roads, pathways. If you think of the great tree of life, and you are a leaf on that tree, and the tree has branches that connect to the trunk and the root system. Yes, there are rotten branches on this tree that you can travel through your monad, your tree trunk, and go and find these rotten branches and go be a leaf on one of those and wither and die. Whatever. If that is what you wish, then go for it, dear one. This golden dragon is not suggesting that any of you should go explore the realms of transhumanism. However, it is your choice.
Okay, let's see here. I was answering a question because somebody here thinks it's the energies. We have the wrong thing up there. Thinks
Oh,
it's the class.
indeed,
It's
dear
not
ones.
the class is
Yes, we
tomorrow.
thank you very much. That due to these little glitches, we had to scramble, and we should be putting up this little card instead, I think. Questions for the dragon. Thank you for the correction. We are not in a class. Well, we are always in a class of some sort, but this is not the Dragon Energies level 1. Thank you for that.
And I see Nyambra is asking, can you share about the Shining Ones, why they came and where they went? And they have many names, and she has a few, I would not even know how to pronounce those. Uh, and so, yeah, about the Shining Ones, where they went and why they came.
Dear ones, you are speaking of the. It is beautiful that a person in your Africa is aware of the Tuatha De Danaan, the Shes, the riders of the She, the shining ones. It is very interesting. These are very often associated with Celtic mythology. Your people of Ireland are very enamored with the Tuatha De Danaan, and there are even those who have renamed themselves MacDonnan in, let us say, tribute to these shining ones. And dear ones, if you delve into your Celtic mythology, you will find stories that are, yes, dear ones, true. These are beings coming from the stars. Many of the early humans considered them to be gods and goddesses. So often, beings coming from the stars are seen this way. They are so far advanced in so many different areas that they just seem like gods. And with a lowercase g, of course, dear ones. And the Tuatha De Danaan are the ones that were beloved of the Celtic cultures. And yes, dear ones, they span other cultures as well. It is just that your Celtic civilization had such a long span. Many do not know that they were a grander civilization than Rome, and lasted longer than Rome, and that these beautiful cultures had a beautiful balance between male and female, honoring, let us call it. Their women were just as equal as the men, and the men were just as equal as the women, and they went into battle together even, and they did not care whether it was a king or a queen. It was just a wise one in their eyes, and everyone walked in their own light and power. It did not work well with the patriarchal ways of the Romans, and so the Romans eventually beat back the Celts and even destroyed most of their druids and priests and priestesses. Yes, the druids were not all men. This is a Roman myth, just to glorify the male again. It is, dear ones, the Tuatha De Danaan are still amongst you. They have not left. When you ask what happened to them, they walk among you now, and many of you have their resonance encoded into your DNA. Many of you are of that blood. It is very often that you hear of somewhat supernatural beings having red hair, copper-colored hair. They are oftentimes the giants. When they are discovered, bones of giants, they have red beards and red hair still attached to the skeletons, and there are all the stories of these giants with red hair. These were, let us say, the stories of the Tuatha De Danaan are mirrored in your Bible as stories of angels coming to earth and mixing with the blood of humans and creating a race of giants, and the Nephilim and all of this. There are so many allusions to this and mirrors of it in your Bible, and it has just become all jumbled and mixed up in the Bible. So people just speak of general terms, angels and giants, and dear ones, the stories are so much grander than that. They are being restored. Your Three-Eye Atlas Andronalf, the great cosmic storyteller, is here to restore the remembrances of all of this and more. And it is beautiful that one of you in Africa is tuning into this, for these are the stories coming through the dragon lines. They are being restored. Dear ones, the Tuatha De Danaan are here. You call them now white hats, and many of them appear to be just humans. They appear to be just limited people doing good things for humanity. Dear ones, they are in disguise, you might say, and they have never left. They have always seen and foreseen that humanity would rise again out of the shackles, break this enslavement that they were under for a time, since your times of Rome indeed, and beyond that, since your times of the Anunnaki, even all of this. Dear ones, there are many who come and go on this world, your star families. They are so often seen as gods and goddesses, and many of them are retold in other cultures. For example, your Thor and Odin were Tuatha De Danaan originally. You think of them as Nordic gods, and it is a retelling, it is a co-opting, so to speak, of these beloved stories, a retelling, just like your King Arthur is a retelling of Beowulf, and your Moses is a retelling of earlier Mesopotamian stories, and the baby floating down the river. It is so often co-opted and retold, and so there is a little confusion as to the origin of many of these stories. And it is beautiful that many of you are tuning into these things right now.
Hadar has another question. He asks, how can we activate our abilities, or should we do that?
Hadar, the dragon sorcerer in you is speaking, and it is beautiful. If you truly wish to activate your powers, some more of your powers, let us say, a few of them, just simply wait until you get into the Dragon Energies Level 2 class early next year. You will get some of them in your Level 1 class. You are signed up, I believe, for the December version of these classes. And this will be a primer into walking into these abilities. And in the Level 2, we will go into straight up wizardry, you might say. There will be many abilities that you are able to play with once again if you choose to. And each of you should choose wisely which abilities you wake up, so to speak. For, as mentioned before, they can be completely ungrounding if you wake them up too quickly or too abruptly, let us say. So, you will be, and you have the ability to delve into this on your own independently. You already are, dear one. You are waking up powers of your own. You can follow this path as well. We will just give you a little boost, shall we say, in these classes that are coming up.
I see University of Lisle has a question. I have attempted to get indirect guidance from you, Jadon Se, writing a question and automatic writing as an answer from you. Is this a good approach to contact you directly for personal readings?
Yes, dear one. You can very easily drop into your own beingness, and as you do, you can open yourself up to guidance from your greater higher self. And oftentimes, those of you who do this would rather just use the agency of a dragon or an angel or an ascended master. It is more comfortable for you to meet your own higher greater self wearing that costume, so to speak. This is not to downplay the masters, the angels, the guides. It is just to say that your higher greater self will come to you in those ways if that is more familiar to you. And contacting Jadon Se or any other dragon or any other of your guides using automatic writing. And then let us just define that for those of you who do not know. Automatic writing is when you channel through your writing. You start writing something and you sort of open up a channel for that being you are connecting to write through your own hand and start to write a message to you. It is a different form of channeling. It is a written form rather than a spoken one. Dragon writing might be another way to say this. And dear ones, do whatever is natural to you. If channeling is natural to you, that is beautiful. If you would rather have signs through nature, through animals, omens, signs in the clouds, whatever, then that is natural to you. And if you would like to just tune in and use your inner vision, your third eye, clairvoyance, so to speak, to see things in your mind's eye, so to speak, and have the answers and guidance come through that. That is beautiful too. There are many of you who are called omniscient, or what is it? It is clairsentient, not omniscient. That is the great creator that does that. Many of you are indeed omniscient. You just have decided you cannot deal with that in the 3D world, and so you have shut it down for a time. And clairsentient is when you get a sudden knowingness. You might ask of the cosmos a question, and you just get the answer. Or more often it is something like somebody that you haven't thought of in a long time. Suddenly they come into your awareness, and the phone rings and it is them. This is a form of clairsentience. All of you have different ways of tuning in, let us say, to the guidance of your higher, greater self, through the agency of whatever is natural to you. It is beautiful, and all of you can play with this and learn from it.
Well, mine looks a little different over here, but I see sun and moon rising. I thought she had a question there. Can I know the name of my dragon?
Dear one, of course you can know the name of your dragon. And as has been said here a few times, it is best for that to be highly personal and kept private, even amongst other dragon keepers like this. For when you just say the name of your dragon, that name is the key that you can use to open the doorway to and from that dragon. And it is almost like you are just giving the keys away when you give out the name. And so, if the question is that you have asked the name of your dragon and you would like it to be given to you, for it has not come to you yet, it is good to review. There is a message from the dragon on this YouTube channel about calling in your personal dragon and how to do this. There we also have a module in the class about calling in your personal dragon. And in both of these, it is spoken that it is a highly personal process. It is every bit as personal as naming your child or naming your beloved pet, some kitten that was given to you. However, do not ever tell your dragon he or she is your pet unless you wish a rude awakening of some kind. It will be a big awakening for you. They will be, you will see. Do not do this. But it is every bit as personal as this. The dragon, once you call this dragon, will appear to you in some way, either energetically, you'll see its face in a cliffside or in a cloud or in a tree bark, or you'll feel the dragon energies around you. You'll hear a sudden dragon sound or feel interesting animal behaviors around you that are dragon-like and not so much like the animal itself. And so many different ways the dragon will appear, and the dragon will appear, dear one. And if you are sensitive, this will come with a name. The name will be given to you. And it is okay if you do not get that. If you are not given a name, then it is for you to name your dragon. And this is a highly personal, private name that you give to your dragon, and it becomes the key that opens up the door to and from this dragon. And let us not just give it out to those around you. And yes, dear ones, if you wanted to ask Jadon Se what is the name of my dragon, it would be possible for Jadon Se to do this. However, I would not do this, for it waters down your connection with your dragon. It puts me in between you two. It is very much like, say you have gone on a trip and you have this beautiful cat that is your great friend and companion, and you have another friend who is house sitting for you to watch your cat, and say you call them from another country, you are missing your cat, and you say to them, do you have the cat with you right now? And the house sitter says, yes, the kitty is on my lap, and you say, what is it like to have that cat on your lap? And what is it like to feel the purr and the petting and the... Dear one, the person on the phone can tell you what it feels like, and this is not even close to the reality of having the cat on your lap. This is just to illustrate that when you put someone else in between, it is like putting that person on the phone between you and your cat. It is not useful, and indeed belittles the situation a little bit. I hope this helps.
I see that Lasu says, hello to Jadon Se. What are tears?
Dear one, tears. It is beautiful to speak of tears. We have done this before, as we mentioned your Master Yeshua crying at the Chalice Well in Glastonbury, England, and one of his tears dropping into the well, and what happened there. And have you ever noticed, dear ones, that tears are salty? Have any of you ever questioned this? Why are tears salty? This is an interesting thing now, isn't it? And there is no coincidence here. For salt, as you well know if you have been around this cosmic golden dragon, salt can be used to encode consciousness, intentions, information. Let us say salt is a crystal that can be programmed like any crystal, can be filled up with feelings, thoughts, emotions, information, experience even, and it becomes a record of this. And dear ones, salt is a very special crystal, for it is water soluble, and even look at the word soluble and you will find gifts in there, and solace and soul even mirrored in these ideas. This solution, this soluble salty water carries in it deep encodings, dear ones, deep, let us say, feelings, information, whole experiences. Indeed, you could even say one tear can have an entire world inside of it. It is that profound, dear ones. Salt water, and imagine that your oceans themselves are salt water, and you begin to understand the grand mystery and awe of beingness that your world is, this beautiful oceanic salty world, and you begin to read into this. Wait, if all that salt has information and experiences encoded in it, is this not a grand library of stories, this world? And yes, dear ones, and your tears are grand libraries of your feelings, your experience, your story, your understandings, your deepest fears, your greatest joys. All can be encoded in a single tear. And this is... some people have wondered, why do people cry when they are letting go of deep emotions and stuck energies or harm or traumas or whatever. You have even your counselors trying to elicit somebody to cry something out, and they know that when a person gets to that point and they are shedding big crocodile tears, why are they called crocodile tears? They should be called dragon tears. Anyway, when they are shedding these dragon tears, they know, this counselor knows, that a great transformation is occurring for that person. For indeed, it is a deep expression, a dislodging of stuck energies or of that which no longer serves being released or unburdened. And dear ones, a good cry is greatly unburdening. After you have a great cry, is it not that you feel lighter? This great heaviness has been shed from you. This is quite literally true, dear ones. You are doing this through your tears, through your expressions. Even when you cry, you sob these great sobs. There is these sounds that are being emitted from you. It is a multi-dimensional shifting of energies, dear ones. And yes, these tears are encoded with those stories. Where do they go when you cry? Does a tear evaporate? What happens to the salt? What happens to these stories? Now there is a question. And I think each of you is capable of feeling into that question and answering it.
Michael Petronella, do stars and planets dream and imagine like we do?
Yes, dear ones. We have found this little gizmo here on, so we can put your questions on the screen. We are playing with this. I hope it's fun. Stars and planets are alive, dear ones. They are conscious. Like any conscious being, they are not only a being, they are also a portal or series of portals. Yes, dear ones, you are portals. Anyone who knows anything about your so-called chakras knows that each chakra is a portal to your greater beingness. And your sun is no different. Your stars and planets are no different. They are all living, conscious beings in the beings of the Eternal One, let us call them. And because they are beings of the Eternal One, they have portals into eternity, each of them. And the consciousness of the cosmos is a beautiful way of traveling and understanding. You can travel through consciousness, dear ones. You can travel with sound and light and so many different ways of going hither and thither, you might say. You can dive into a consciousness and take its portal to a greater knowingness. And of course, stars and planets dream and imagine. What are dreams and imaginations? Dear ones, this is consciousness exploring its own story. This is what a dream and an imagination is a consciousness using that portal of divine awareness to dream and to explore and imagine timelines that it then lives in and or upon, whatever you wish to say. Timelines are very strange to dragons, but we like to talk to humans and humans like to hear about timelines, so we will continue this metaphor, this idea. These dreams and imaginations are what precipitates your reality. Any building you have ever beheld started out as an imagination or a dream in the mind of an architect, and even possibly was co-created by those who began to build it and even made errors or changes to the original dream. And this is how reality works on all levels, dear ones. You dream and imagine, and then you get to go live in these stories and dreams and imaginations. You get to explore them. in 3D, it seems like it is hard. It is like persistent dreams, and some of them are persistent nightmares. Even you might think, and it seems rigid here in this three-dimensional reality. However, as you bridge the fifth dimension with the third, you move into this fourth dimension where your dreams come true much more rapidly. This is the realm of manifestation where you consciously begin to build your dreams and see them happen, and gradually you begin to become aware that you are doing this, that you are calling in these dreams and building them, and that there is this magical process of synchronicities supporting these dreams. And as you begin to trust this and grow in it and grow in the ability to explore it, this is when you are able to step up into 5D, you might say, crude way of saying it, a level of consciousness where you can create entire worlds and then go play in them. Not only just create your own house or palace or garden or forest or beautiful experience of some sort, but entire worlds, dear ones, entire galaxies even, and go and live in them, go explore them, go and play in them. God's play. What is it they say in your India Leela? God's play. It is the play of the divine on all these different levels of awareness. You call them dimensions. How crude and quaint, but it is fun. It is beautiful. And yes, dear ones, planets and stars. If you look across the galaxy or the cosmos, you just stand in your backyard at night and you see a star and you say, "Hello, star," and you truly feel the connection of saying, "Hi," feeling into that star, as if it is right there with you. Dear ones, feel into this. You will feel a response. That star will say hello back to you, and if you are sensitive enough, you will feel it. That star is as aware of you as you are of it. Do not get tied up in speed of light nonsense and wait a minute, the light from the star may have originated 400 years ago, and maybe it has already supernovaed. It isn't even there anymore. Do not get caught up in this. In your moment of now, you see that star, and you can connect with the moment of now for that star when it was shining with that light. It is as simple as that. Don't get hung up on time, or space, distance, anything like this. They are as aware of you as you are aware of them.
Shawnette says, hello and thank you so much for all of your time. I'm curious about the length of measurement and when creating jewelry. There is the royal cubit and such. Would numerology be just as effective in creating frequency as the fancy cubits?
Dear one, this is a deep and beautiful question. What is a cubit? The royal cubit is what was used to measure the grand structures of your Egypt, and yes, indeed, it comes from Atlantis, and let us just call it methods and technologies that are Atlantean, and the royal cubit, it was the known cubit, even though it is called a royal cubit only for kings and pharaohs to use, etc. It was well known, let us say. It is the unit of measure that your great pyramids were measured by. And why, dear ones? Why would any enlightened civilization land on a certain unit of measurement? Now there is a question. In that question is the answer, because everything is frequency, vibration, and resonance, and certain measurements resonate with certain, let us say, experiences. And Those of you who have any technical knowledge know that an antenna for a radio system or an antenna for internal parts and pieces of your computer and electronics, all of these things, Wi-Fi, all of these little wires are cut to a very specific length, and they resonate with a specific radio frequency. This is just a crude, instructive illustration of what a qubit is for and how it is used. If you cut something to a specific length, it resonates. This can be seen in your piano strings. It is a certain length and tension that creates that particular note on the piano. Notice that all of the strings are cut to very precise lengths. It is just like this, dear ones. The qubit, the royal qubit, is resonant with Gaia, the dimensional realities of Gaia. If you look at your Great Pyramid of Giza, it is exactly proportionate to the sphere of Gaia. If you mirrored a mirror of that pyramid and made it an octahedron, where the square base of the mirror is joined with the square base of a did I say mirror? The square base of the pyramid is joined with a mirrored square base of an upside down pyramid. So you have these points. It becomes an octahedron. And if you placed that octahedron into a sphere, dear ones, it would not be a perfect sphere. It would be what is called an oblate sphere, where you have squished it a little bit. It is like your north and south pole are a little squished. And this is because your earth is spinning, and it is like a merry-go-round where people want to fly off of it because of centrifugal force. And anyway, it is bulging at the equator a little bit. And those who built the Great Pyramid of Giza knew exactly the dimensions of your Gaia, down to a cubit, you might say. And it is an exact proportionate model of and resonant with Gaia and her energies. Yes, dear ones, and this is also instructive on how dragon lines and ley lines work as well. They are all geometries that are resonating with the beingness of Gaia. Okay, that is your royal qubit. If you make something based on exact royal qubits, it is resonant with the forces of physical beingness, life force, nature, healing energies, because it is a natural resonance with the planet herself. And so if you have a ring or a bracelet or something that is cut to an exact qubit dimension, royal qubit, it is one of healing or balance, or will bring extra life force, or it will bring one of the attributes of Gaia to you through its resonance. And there are other qubits. There is the lost qubit, the forbidden qubit. These are qubits that are more etheric or light body based. They operate with other aspects of your beingness. There is a reason they are called forbidden, for if you just start playing with them willy-nilly, you can harm yourself. You can actually overcharge your body or your beingness, and like a light bulb that has too much energy, pop. Light bulbs can pop, right? Well, nerves and sinews and parts of your beingness can be overcharged like a light bulb popping. And so it is only for those with deeper understanding to play with the forbidden qubit and the lost qubit, so to speak. There are several qubit measurements, dear ones, and many, you might say, wizard types are discovering them even now, or we should say recovering them, for they were well known in your Atlantis. And we can go on and on about this. When you make jewelry, it is bringing these qubit energies, are bringing a certain resonance with something or some beingness that can be beneficial or can be too much in some cases. And yes, using sacred geometries is a similar thing. Using sacred geometries doesn't necessarily tie them to Gaia and her life force energy. It can tie them with divine archetypes and divine energies in different and various ways. Play with all of these, dear one, with your different jewelries. I hope this helps.
I see Nazi has a question. If everyone is reflection of us, what would be the point of guiding anyone or sharing wisdom, since the change within us is going to reflect automatically?
Dear one, this is an interesting question, for it reflects an incomplete understanding, and a beautiful understanding at the same time. For you have begun to question if everyone are reflections of us. Well, when you say if, it means you are not convinced, and that is fine. You are playing with the idea. This question betrays so much of your current state of understanding. It is beautiful that you are exploring the idea that everyone could be a reflection of us. And what is us? There is the question. What is us? I am. Well, when the divine says I am, that's not we are, is it? Is it us? Is divine talking about us? You do have some of your prophets and beautiful beings, divine beings, speaking of unity consciousness, unity with that you again, us with the you again, union, un, meaning one. And, dear one, so you are, your incomplete understanding is that what is the point? If we are all just reflections of each other, what is the point of even interacting with each other? Since it will just reflect through Indra's net, so to speak, or mirror out into the cosmos. Well, dear one, what you are leaving out of this equation is the greater understanding that unity can be expressed through various states of being, various stories of being. And when stories interact, beautiful things happen. When you have, if you are an author writing a novel and you have created one character and you have placed them into a city, place, or an island somewhere, and that character is there experiencing the environment and the place. This is beautiful. And then things get very interesting when a second character appears and they interact. And then beautiful interactions between them become possible. The story gets richer, does it not? Dear one, this is Leela, God's play. It is God playing, let's say, a great Shakespearean play as all the different characters of the Shakespearean play that is coming for the audience's enjoyment. And dear one, that play is very interesting. For each actor, for every member of the audience, sees it a little differently, from a little different angle, understands it a little differently, interacts with that story a little differently, and this expands eternity. This enriches eternity. Every story is so precious, beyond compare. And when you start to think and realize on these levels and feel into this, you will understand that there is every point of guiding or sharing wisdom with somebody, and the change is reflected, and it is beautiful that is reflected, and the story expands and grows through that reflection. It is enriched by it. Continue with these queries, these avenues of curiosity. You are growing, dear one.
Do we have time for another question? Okay, I see JW has a question. Is the local logos ascending at the same time we are? If so, will celestial body communication get easier?
Dear ones, it really depends on what is meant by logos. And then when you say local logos, logos, the word Greek meaning word, is so often used to express the Godhead, or let us say prime creator, or an aspect or archetype of creatorship, the logos, the word. And we are also seeing it used in graphic design for branding and all these things. And it is because it symbolizes an archetype. It symbolizes an energetic presence, let us say, the logos. And when you say local logos, you are saying that there is like a demiurge, almost like a local creator. And is the local creator also ascending? And if so, will the celestial body communication get easier? Dear one, your understanding is very particular to you. This is not resonating with everyone present, and it will guide you in a direction of greater understanding. What you are doing here is you are picking eternity apart into, you're like taking out your scalpel and dissecting, let us say, a mushroom or something, so that people don't get squeamish. And you are dissecting a mushroom to look at its various parts and constituent beingnesses, and treating them as if they are separate. And then you are trying to use these understandings of separate pieces that you have dissected to somehow get an idea of the greater ascension or the greater beingness of this mushroom. And dear one, this is fine. It is for you to play with your scalpel. Not everyone here wishes to do this. And we will just say that you can answer this question for yourself. For in the question is the answer. Of course, ascension happens at the same time. And of course, it happens on many different levels. It is, let us just say, your idea of dimensions. As it grows, your understanding of this question will grow.
Okay, maybe one last question.
Indeed.
Okay, so Aaron Darvish has a question. Could Jadon Se, could we potentially charge a crystal with even higher energies if we put intentions into it while you are coming through to us live?
There is a budding wizard here. This sort of question, once again, looking at the question betrays a little bit of those who have asked the question. It shows that you, Aaron, have reached a very deep level of understanding about crystals and their uses. Dear one, this is an awakening to your several of your connected lifetimes in Atlantis working with crystals, and one lifetime in Lemuria working with crystals. You are tapping in, let us say, to a greater portion of your own access of wisdom. And yes, dear one, the answer is not potentially. You are charging a crystal with energies when you put any intention into it in a field. And the field, what is that field? You are alluding to it here right now when you say that when this dragon is coming through live, it sets up a field. And yes, dear one, it certainly does. Those of you who are geologists will know that you can tell when a rock was created in your mid-oceanic trenches by the polarity of its crystals. For your Earth's magnetic field has shifted over eons, and when the rock cools from magma, the crystals are aligned with the magnetic field of the day that they were created. Just like rings in a tree, you can read it like a record, and you can see the encodings of that rock, when it was made, what the state of the Earth herself was, her magnetic field at that time. And this is because it was encoded inside of a field. And dear one, yes, you are correct. Consciousness, even channeled consciousness, or in some cases especially channeled consciousness, sets up a field, and you are all in this field. Anyone hearing this voice in any moment of now, even on a future recording, is in this field of this voice, these thoughts that are coming through, and what is riding beneath the spoken word. Let us say the energetics of the consciousness coming through on many different levels creates a field. And when you are doing anything that is encoding something within that field, you are capturing and recording somewhat of the essence of that field. And so, yes, if you put your intention into a crystal while we are having this discussion right now, you are also encoding it and possibly amplifying an intention if it is in line with what is being discussed. You are encoding that as well into the crystal, and intentionally. Intention is the key here, for intention is what focuses the energy into coherence. We have spoken of this before, like a laser beam, coherence. And as you intend something into a crystal, you are focusing energies, and those energies can further focus the field that those energies originate from. So yes, 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 and yes, dear one. Congratulations for your deep wisdom and understandings. We are going to close it with this. It is beautiful to see all of you growing so much. Your questions are so wise and betray so much of who you truly are. And I think even in asking your questions, many of you are waking up to your own greater selves through your own questions and through the questions of others. This is all beautiful. And yes, it is reflecting out, as the previous question said, and because of this, it is even more beautiful. Beautiful. And yes, somebody's name is Crystal, so this is not a coincidence, I think. Very good. We are going to end this gathering now. And please know that we are very much, you might say that this golden cosmic dragon is proud of those who have gathered here and the growth that you are all experiencing. Let us please bask in our dragon lines once more. Shout out where you are from. This is a grand way to end this gathering. Where are you in this moment of now? Shout it out. Please, let us see. There must be quite a delay, for it takes you so long, or maybe those of you are not near your keyboards or something. We have Anatolia, Turkey. We have Berkeley, California, Colorado, Los Angeles, Texas, Groves, Texas, 2 Texans here. I hope there isn't a shootout. Massachusetts. We have Aguilla, Puerto Rico. That is beautiful. Very good. We have someone thanking Stephen, Stephanie, and the Little Wolf. We have South Africa, Massachusetts, Chile. Beautiful. The Netherlands. Do you feel this? The whole world here. Cape Town, South Africa, North Bend, Oregon. Hi, Mom. We have Zagreb, Croatia. This is a new one for us, I believe. Welcome to Croatia. Zagreb. Beautiful. Florida. We have Utah. Beautiful energies coming in right now. Do you feel this? Do you feel the connections of all those gathered, creating a grid, the grid lines? Beautiful. And yes, all of these are sacred lands in one way or another, and we are so happy and feeling wonderful that you have joined us here. We thank you very much for being with us. This dragon will try to help to, let us say, settle the Mercury retrograde technological issues. Thank you very much for being nimble and finding your way over to this live stream. We will continue to work on this. Thank you, and we will see you on Wednesday. And some of you we will see tomorrow in the class.